Now, these youths grew up in this environment, and they had the stories that this is how we used to be in the past. And now the oil explorers had come into our system, taking over the environment, and then pretended as if nobody existed in the environment. Now, in as much as I am not in support of kidnapping, I'm not in support of ritual killings, I'm not in support of violence, I would like to say that the reasons for which these boys are doing what they are doing is because of hardship. Now, you couldn't live in the South and then see your mates from different parts of Nigeria coming to the South, making so much wealth in your village, in your community, and taking the monies out of your environment, and you don't even see a crumb of it, crumbs, before you talk about food. Then every day you are dying for starvation and hunger. It doesn't really exist. Now, one of the causes of this restiveness is as a result of acute or deliberate negligence of the people of the region, which is not proper.
By whom?
By the leadership or the authorities of the nation.
Okay.
Because, for instance, I come to your compound to maybe to plant my crops, and the compound is fenced around, and you allow me enter by opening your gate for me. It is expected ordinarily for me to say, call your children to be part of this project. At the end of the day, I say, okay, you take 20%, you take 10%. That way, I'm not only eating, you are also eating. And by the time all of us are eating, there'll be friendliness, and there'll be relationship, and there'll be progress for everybody. As long as there's progress for everybody, there's no problem. But where I come into your compound, get all these things planted, and put a law, nobody touches this stuff. Whenever I like, I come in and harvest and close them back. One day your children are going to grow up and hear the history that this is my father's compound. Certainly not only will they stop me from entering the compound, they might even kill me or kill my family. Now, what is happening in the Niger Delta? Today people think Niger Deltans are wicked people. If you actually know Niger Deltans, we are not wicked people.
That's right.
I travel abroad, I've been to places. We don't travel ordinarily. Niger Deltans don't travel. Yes, they could be proud people because anybody that lives around the sea is a proud man. By the time he finish eating his regular food, tie his George, and have his bowler hat on with his etibor and so on, he feels on top of the wall with his walking stick. And he doesn't care whether you are building skyscraper. All he wants is to live a good life. And so they don't travel. If you travel around the world, you discover that out of every 20 Nigerians, you can see 1 or 2 Niger Deltans. And that is amazing. That's not well. But that's what goes on. We love our places. We love our environment. Now, as much as we love our environment, you now come into my environment, you pollute my environment. Right now we have suits everywhere that police the whole city, that you cannot sleep comfortably. Every day they clean the house, every day, because the suits mess up the environment. And then those who are responsible for this pretend as if they don't care. Now they expect the youths now to be happy, clapping hands for them, and say, oh, congratulations, you are mining oil in my region. Who is in control of this oil?
And when you are not benefiting from the oil,
you will not be happy that you are not benefiting. You don't have anything to gain, and somebody come from another region, own the oil blocks,
the oil,
own the oil
land, take the oil block,
right,
and then make a lot of money and leave you with nothing.
That's
so
right.
There is anger in the land.
And then the people are only reacting based on what things they are going through, not because they are wicked or evil.
All right, Your Lordship, we'll leave it there because we're running out of time. Well, you've heard what His Lordship said. The Niger Delta people are not bad people.
We are not bad people.
The Niger Delta people are loving people. I mean, we are the most of this nation and the most friendly
people.
Region in this country, and that's the truth. But because things have turned against the region, the people are fighting back, maybe going to the extreme to express their anger and their neglect. But God will help us. And that takes us to the second question, Your Lordship. If you drive from Edo State down to Calabar, which is the Niger Delta road that link all the Niger Delta states, and then if you're going to Aba, you see the Port Harcourt Aba Express Road down to Aba, it's not passable. Down to Enugu, in fact. Now, there seems to be a neglect of the infrastructures in the Niger Delta region.
Now, it is inhuman to mine oil from the south and not think about constructing a motorable road or having a railroad in those environments that could be able to also give those people access to linking these different states. Right now, you cannot go to Calabar, Cross River State.
Yeah.
If you are going to Calabar right now, the journey that will have taken you 4 hours could take you a day and a half. You cannot go to Aba from Port Harcourt right now. From what I heard, I've not been to Aba for more than close to 10 years right now. And every day I hear war stories of Aba Port Harcourt Road. You cannot just drive to Aba. Aba used to be less than an hour drive. You can't drive in 4 hours to Aba. It is if you make it in 4 hours. The same journey to Aba. Talking about Enugu, in those days, 2-3 hours in Enugu, you can't do it anymore.
So what is your advice to the government in the center?
To the government in the center, they should rethink their plans. Yes, it is true that you must develop your own region, but think about the people of the nation, of the regions from where the oil come from, or the resources. Number one. Number two, not only because we have oil. If we are one Nigeria, every part of Nigeria has a right to be developed.
Do I take this as your point, the cure to the crisis in Niger Delta?
Yes.
Do I take some of this in as the cure?
This is part of it.
Okay.
If you're a leader in any nation and you are developing your region and neglect the other part of the region, you are not a good leader. As a leader, you're expected to carry everybody along, knowing that one day you'll be out of office. You don't know where you find yourself. You may be in that region, and then you come in and see what you couldn't do. What are you going to talk about?
Okay, now people are clamoring for restructuring of this nation called Nigeria. I don't know if you have the same view.
Now, I want to say this. What is bringing about the clamor for restructure is as a result of the oppression in the land. Ordinarily, every Nigerian wants to live in peace.
Okay.
Want to live with one another. But what is making people clamor is because those who have nothing to offer are pretending to be the ones in charge.